Cool. Okay. Let's look at thyroid and adrenals. So I just got a blood test for what vitamins to take and found that I had hypothyroid just for that one blood test. I don't know if it's for sure. So I got pretty interested in this, and I'd never even looked up all the information. There's nodules. 3 million people just have nodules, which can cause a little bit of problem, sometimes no problem. Hypothyroidism is the main thing, and that's underactive thyroid. 3 million a year. It's where the thyroid doesn't produce enough thyroid hormone. What's the frequency of that thyroid hormone? Holy moly! We could probably have a little device that you could either attach to your neck or just tone with. And because I've found already that when my thyroid's not doing well, I can feel it buzzing. It's kind of like this little and I start toning to it, and it stops buzzing. And I know that's healing it, right? We could easily, so easily, have a frequency device that, and maybe it has to be tuned to the person, goes up and down in frequency a little bit. Maybe it's a timbre, a combination of frequencies. But we just lock on to that frequency that triggers that hormone, right? So that we can actually totally overcome it. Of course, we got to be careful, because you could probably wear that sucker out, right? You could probably do too much, so you'd have to be careful. But it just seems like it's not, with just a little bit of research, we could totally find it. So Shakina's saying that it's related to the Epstein-Barr virus. Tell me more. I don't know about Epstein-Barr.
So Epstein-Barr, like mono, that kind of thing is where it starts. So if somebody has had mono or some other variety of Epstein-Barr, and this is like from the medical medium, Anthony William, he's the one that sort of has raised this. And that basically the Epstein-Barr virus has morphed, and there's 60 some varieties of it, and once it gets into like stage 4 or whatever, so somebody might have mono, they recover from it, but that virus is still in their body. It could be most likely still in their body, and then over time it kind of comes to this point where it's, I guess sort of more affecting the thyroid a little bit more.
Cool.
Anyway, it's just a thought.
Yeah, we do have the SIMA. You want to hear the thyroid frequency, the SIMA thyroid frequency? Let me play it. This is from Peter Guy Manners, and I've got a whole endocrine gland CD that, and I found that I actually talked to a psychic for what it's worth, and she said this actually could really help, but she said it will take a while, it's long term. Let me play it for you. Let's see who's unmuted here. I'm going to mute you guys. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's the thyroid. Not really meant to be listened to. You actually play it on your thyroid with headphones or with the devices we sell. So, it's like there's one, I just get almost upset with the fact that it seems so crazy that the medical field is not checking this out, because endocrine glands are frequency devices. They say they're connected to the chakras. Maybe it's a throat chakra issue, right? But whatever the issue is, their frequency device, they're so receptive to sound. They are more receptive to sound than any other part of the body other than the auras. Right? And so it's like with probably $100,000, we could do 3 months of research and totally have something that would dramatically help. Or at least figure out exactly how to teach people the right toning and the right vowel and the right frequency, so we could have a little tone generator, say tone along with this and do this vowel. This is the vowel that's known to help the thyroid the most. Maybe it's a combination, but with a little research we would know this. It would be incredible. Rima?
Yes. So I'm hypothyroid and have been for many, many years, and I'm on medication for it, albeit a more natural one.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just played that tone, I just felt my head about to explode.
Well, again, you're not supposed to listen to it.
Right, but it's interesting. I think I'm wondering.
That's not good.
I know, and I'm also wondering now, how would I get the frequency of my thyroid now that my thyroid is functioning by virtue of being medicated?
Well, there's still a frequency there of what it was before the medication. And the medication doesn't necessarily, I don't think it necessarily changes the thyroid frequency. It actually might get it back to its natural frequency more. That's hopefully what it's doing.
Well,
right?
Yeah. There's many times
Right.
when I feel like it's not correct, but it's a very difficult thing to correct.
Cool. Well, here's the deal. This is what we teach in the classes. Just simply do a frequency sweep. Everybody can try this now. Until you feel the frequency that seems to feel the best for the thyroid. And then get right on it. There it is for me. And then tone that. I have this feeling, strong feeling, that if you just tone the frequency of the thyroid, it will completely heal it. Right? Or at least, get its hormones going for the next hour or two at least, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, in the morning, when the thyroid's really needs the most help. Wake up and start toning it, I mean, we could create a practice that is so effective, I believe, with either electronics and voice or both, whatever you want to do, if you're not, and really take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
Just in this moment, I'm like, oh my God, I'm ready to start like a whole wing right now at our research foundation. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I have Hashimoto's. I've had it for a long time, and I've been on and off thyroid medicine, and the thyroid medicine was not working anymore. After about 15 years of on it, it wasn't working anymore. And I branched out into trying to find other things to help regenerate the thyroid, because with Hashimoto's, they say anyway, the body is deteriorating the thyroid. So if we could find a frequency that could regenerate tissue or regenerate the thyroid while we're working on the cause of the autoimmunity, that would be like gold. And if you ever find that, I would really love to know. But also for the adrenals and for other organs that have been deteriorated, and myelin sheath, for people with MS, it's all the same element of even this, just a general regeneration frequency and how to use it, how to get the body to accept the frequency. Like you were saying, putting it directly on the the thyroid using your headphones or whatever, anything, you know. It's just been there's so many people with these problems. It would just be gold. And then the question I have too is, have you ever done any work with Sherry Edwards and her technologies?
Yeah, she still sends me every month a email that she's going to sue me for about 10 years now. Yeah, she's sued the person that used to own our voice analysis system in court and forged non-disclosure papers and got caught and lost the lawsuit. And she's sued just about everybody in the field, even though for voice analysis, even though she has no patent or anything. So she's a little dangerous, right? So
I was curious because I don't know a lot about her, but I've heard about that she has certain frequencies for certain things. I was just curious if she had one for the thyroid.
Yeah, I think she does, but here's the deal. And it's cool. We've actually got tons of frequency lists, but you know, I assume it's a little bit different for each person, but there must be a range within a certain area, right? And then not only the frequency, but the timbre, the combination of frequencies, because that could be more important than the actual frequency, high or low, the actual chord structure of the frequencies that are the combination. I think this is not rocket science. I mean, all you have to do is take a thyroid and do a frequency sweep while monitoring it with whether MRI or whatever you need to do to monitor it. I know there's devices that can monitor it in real time, and just see what actually creates more hormones and gets it going. I don't think this would be hard to do at all. Really hard, not hard to do at all. Now, regenerating something is a whole nother deal, right? This is like, now we're talking about this is major. If we can regenerate anything, I mean, holy moly, this is the holy grail, right? So, but this is not, I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility, right? Because there's stem cells. If we find the right frequency of a stem cell that will split off and create an organ, right? I met a woman who was totally researching the frequencies that would trigger the stem cell to create different parts of the body, right? So I think that's really a possibility down the line. But that's a little more detailed.
Hello, can I add something to this?
Yeah.
This is Arut. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a client that has sarcoidosis and
has what?
Sarcoidosis. It's not one of these injuries. But I've been working on trying to rebuild his bone. And I've been using a herb tea that's called Regeneration tea by Dr. Schultz. And you soak a cloth in the tea and then put it on the body. And then I've been putting a tuning fork on the cloth on the body. And I don't have any way to test it or anything, scientific. But I really feel like it works. When I have muscle spasms, I put the tuning fork and I take the muscle spasms until they go away. They stay away for a while. Got to get him to where he's coming consistently. But I don't know about, I know that it works on a lot of things. It's the formula by Dr. Christopher.
It's kind of hard to hear. Your voice is going in and out with.
Okay, I'll type it in.
Cool. Great. I actually called up a medical intuitive about, a month ago when I got the blood test back that I had low thyroid, and I said, okay, let me try different sounds and tell me which ones work. And I went, ee! She said, no, it's too high. I said, ee! She said, that's good. And I said, what about this? Oh. She said, no, a little too low. I said, how about this? Ooh. Ooh, she said, that's good, right? So it felt like it was the ones where it was easiest to make the sound, right? Was where they were working, but I don't know for sure. But it wasn't super low or super high. It was in the more the mid-range that she said was really good for my thyroid. There's another thing that I mentioned, it could be, see, one of our, the woman who owns the voice analysis, that used to own the voice analysis that I own now, Kay Thompson, she actually sells this iodine, colloidal iodine. And I've been taking it for years, and it really helped my memory. I really swore by it. But then I found that it's actually not good for low thyroid, right? So I immediately stopped, and I thought maybe this caused my low thyroid. So, and because they say there's a huge gut connection, because the thyroid also is something about it that clears toxins, right? If you get radiation, it goes to your thyroid. I mean, there's like all different types of things. Anybody know anything about that, about toxins being cleared by the thyroid?
One of the main things, David, is iodine. Iodine will be uptake by the thyroid.
It will what? Say again?
Iodine is uptake. It's uptake by the thyroid. That's one thing that will be uptake by the thyroid greatly.
What's uptake mean?
Fact, when they do an ablation, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, when you have hyperthyroid, they're trying to destroy the thyroid.
So you're saying use iodine for hyperthyroid?
That's what they do in the medical field.
Oh, interesting.
It's a
So I've been using iodine when I've got low thyroid, or maybe that's what caused it. I've worn it out. No,
I'm not saying that it will destroy it, but it's a great. The thyroid will uptake it very easily.
Okay. Uptake means like kind of slow it down.
No, it will be drawn into the thyroid very easily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they will use a radioactive. They use it to actually destroy the thyroid, which is not a good thing for some people.
I mean, there's some people have it taken out, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then if we had the thyroid frequency, boy, I bet you that would help people that had their thyroid removed dramatically, right?
I mean, we could start with the throat chakra frequency, and work with that whole system. Are you walking your talk? Are you the whole psychoanalytical part of it as well?
Yeah, because that could be huge. I mean, if you're not able to express yourself, I wouldn't doubt that totally affects your thyroid, right? And maybe, okay, so this is huge. I mean, teaching people to be able to express their emotions with a sound, which is really hard for people, right? Which often takes a little bit of time to actually get them comfortable where they can make sound, which I found call and response is the best way to get them comfortable. Make this sound. We have the kids, we're doing the classes with the 3 to 6 year olds. I'm like, do this sound, wah! And they're like, wah! Right? And then within 2 weeks, they're totally like, oh, this is how I'm feeling, blah! Right? It was totally cool. And they're expressing themselves. So that's really huge. Teach them how to express themselves with sound. Yeah. I mean, it would be really easy to do research and see if that actually affects the thyroid hormones when people are actually doing sound with it and expressing themselves. Yeah, the thing I've found with the frequencies on the endocrine glands is you have to be very careful. I've actually used them on my kidneys a few years ago, and often even 5 minutes can be plenty because the endocrine glands are so sensitive, right? So although it's interesting because this medical intuitive told me I needed to do it longer on my thyroid. The frequencies we have, the SIMA frequencies. Yeah, and this is important to understand. This, because we're kind of doing the medical thing where we're talking about the thyroid only, but it's totally a part of the whole endocrine system. And the whole deal is for all of the hormones within your system to be balanced. So ultimately, you know, we could get the thyroid humming and maybe it throws off something else. Right? Some people say that the pituitary and hypothalamus and pineal actually are the masters of the whole system, right? So maybe it's a matter of getting them going first. I think someone said that even medically, that those other glands can cause a problem with the thyroid.
Just have a little aside, because I've been playing around with the SIMA frequencies for the thyroid and whatever. When I use the thyroid frequencies, I try to use it with the adrenals, and I've just been using it with the headphones on each spot. But what I have found is I have Hashimoto's and low thyroid. The hypothalamus frequency is the one that makes me feel the best.
Oh, interesting.
So I thought I would just mention that. That's me, so it's not everybody, but just as an example. And I thought I was going to have to use the thyroid, but I'm finding I don't really like that sound when I'm using it. It's more the brain, the hypothalamus and the brain ones that you have, the encephalon and cerebellum ones that seem to make me feel the most balanced.
Cool. Well,
so I just wanted to mention that.
Cool.
Oh, David, I just wanted to say something else to you, not to freak you out. I just remembered this. When they do destroying a thyroid, they use radioactive iodine. It's not regular iodine.
Okay.
Radioactive iodine, and that's why the iodine is uptake by the thyroid very easily. So it takes the iodine in, but it's radioactive and it destroys the thyroid, and then you have to take medication.
Cool. That doesn't freak me out at all. That makes me feel better.
Well, I didn't want to freak you out in thinking you were taking iodine and it destroyed your thyroid.
Yeah, no. You've now resolved that. Thank you. Excellent. I was like, I killed myself. No. Okay. Boy, so okay. So we got some ideas here. Again, going to a place of peace and stillness is good for any system, especially the endocrine glands. You could work totally with the throat chakra. I don't necessarily believe in the notes for the chakras. I think it's much better to find your notes yourself. I can show you a chart. Let's see. There's actually, I've got this chart. Let's see, endocrine. Let me find it here. I'll put this in as well. Endocrine. Here we go, endocrine frequencies. Okay, so here's frequencies that I collated from all the different frequency lists. So here's the thyroid, 1174. That's the central frequency, 12 hertz, which you'd have to use a binaural beat, 492, and 0.5, which would be a binaural beat also. And then, the frequencies for adrenals as well. So those would be worth a try, worth checking out, and see if they actually work, right, when scientific studies. Let me paste this in here. And again, what could be cool is to pull up a little tone generator. The tone generator I recommend is track tuner and type in these frequencies, or you can go to onlinetonegenerator.com. Right? Type in these frequencies, and then you could use them, but then tone them. Right? Pull up the frequency and just sing along with it. Get your voice doing it. That's very cool. Okay. So that is the thyroid.